Hello and welcome to another painting tutorial. As ever, thanks for commenting and subscribing after my previous videos. Coming soon, I have some Barrow Whites and Rohan stuff. But first, people have been talking about how to paint a Ringwraith, so I'm going to tackle the Dwimmerlaik. I must say it's odd painting Ringwraiths because you need to be subtle in your highlights to make sure they're true to their name, Dark Riders or Black Riders. So I started by spraying black and covering all the patchy bits of spray with black from a pot. Then the first gentle highlight is Charadon Granite on the rider as a whole. I carefully picked out any raised cloak or bardings on its dark steed. It may look a little bit too bright already, but don't be hasty, Master Meriadoc. It'll all turn out fine in the end. Now, I mix a 50-50 black and Fenris grey colour, and I painted this not as a highlight everywhere, but only on the ends of his cloak, usually over the previous Charadon highlight. You can see here I'm probably painting about halfway up the cloak to leave room for further highlighting later. Now I come back to highlight with pure Fenris Grey, or the Fang, basically the same paint. As you can see, probably going up about a quarter of the way up the cloak. Again, don't worry about it being a little bright. I painted his horse in scorched brown. This is because I didn't want a grey or blue-grey horse like the cloaks, but I do want it to be very dark. The Black Riders, after all, ride dark steeds as well, so I give the whole model a good liberal wash of Badab Black. As you can see, there's no escape from this wash. Letting it dry a bit while I paint bolt gun metal on the sword and armour, and of course on the horse's head too, and his feet, which I'll paint a bit later on. Then, with Devlan mud, I wash that armour so it's a different shade to the cloak, just to provide that variety of different dark colours on such a dark model. Back now to the muted shady cloak with Fenris Grey or the Fang. As you can see, this is a very careful highlight at the extremities of the cloak and on the barding. Take your time here and make sure the paint is watered down a bit so it goes on fairly thin and doesn't look too blocky. Then with Scorched Brown, I painted his belt. And the reins, I thought I'd vary the shade of black again with a Regal or Cantor Blue and black 50-50 mix. Then I highlight that with pure Regal Blue, only on the very extreme highlights there though. Now I paint the straps on the horse in Adeptus Battle Grey. For the main event again, Space Wolves Grey goes on as a very, very, very high highlight on the cloak. Right at the very tips of the cloak, basically. Now with Devlan mud I go back to the reins and belt just to darken it up a bit more and get rid of that sort of bright blue and brown. With Scab Red I carefully painted between the eyelids. I rub the red away if it goes anywhere else. Now we're almost done. I painted the base Scorched Brown, dry brushed it Calthan Brown, then I painted my Stone and Pebbles Adeptus Battle Grey, then straight to a highlight mix of Codex Grey mixed with bleached bone. And I PVA glued a bit of dead grass on the base. Then, to make that Ringwraithy atmosphere, the harbinger of evil and all that sort of stuff, I used some cotton wool, pull it out a little bit until it's stringy, and I glued it on for a little bit of foggy mist on the base. Then I painted up the dismount, and voila, you have a full Dwimmerlaik. Thanks very much again for watching. Comment, like and subscribe, and I'll have some more content some point in the future. Can't promise you when. It takes ages to do these. Thanks for watching though. Bye bye.